Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We have two. Let me turn on the lamp. I have two blended Scotch whiskies. Ballantine's Finest, no age statement, introduced in 1910. The company founded in 1827. 40% alcohol. I noticed that the whiskey couch from a few years ago. He's in South Africa. He said over there it's 43%, and it might be 43% for Europe. So I don't know why. It used to be 43% in the United States, because if you look at old advertisements from the 1980s, it was 86 proof. I don't know why they dropped it to 40 here. I don't know. Chivas Brothers brand. Here's the competitor, J.W. Dant's imported Scotch whiskey. And it goes on and on. There's like an essay on the back about the history of Scotch. And I mean, it's long. If you're waiting on the checkout at the grocery store, I bought this at a grocery store. It'll keep you busy. I bought this liter bottle at Dorignax on Veterans Boulevard in Metairie, Louisiana. It was $8.99 a liter. Last time I checked, same price, $8.99 for a liter. Crazy, right? $27.99 for a 1,750 milliliter bottle. So $27.99 divided by 1,750 times 1,000. $15.99 for a liter. So $15.99 versus $8.99. Is it going to be that much better? We're going to find out. I don't think it will, but we're going to find out. Let me check on this cat because I don't trust her. She might tear something up. What are you messing with? Not going to cooperate. Trying to get her to come in here, but she's afraid because I have the little space heater running sometimes, and the fan. She's scared of that fan. I don't know why. It's just a low hum, but cats are very strange animals. All right. Anyway, hopefully she won't tear anything up. She's out there. All right. So Ballantine. B for Ballantines. Metal cap. Brown glass bottle. That's good. Brown protects it from light. Light can damage whiskey. Not as much as beer. That can damage beer, but it can do it. It'll. If you read some of the whiskey websites, they'll say keep it in an area out of the light. And all of that. All right. Dance has been doing very well in the taste challenges. Dance was good on its own. In my opinion, it's good on its own. And it's done quite well in taste challenges, only aged 3 years. But it's okay. It's golden. Is it going to really get that dark? It's not really dark. It's kind of a light gold. After 3 years in aged wood, oh, probably not. They're probably adding coloring, caramel color to it, but it's a common practice in Scotch, common practice in Canadian whiskey, common practice in American blended whiskey. All right. E. Gordon. Oh, man, the cat is in the house. I don't like the cat in the house because she likes to do bad things. Like to her, she's only like a year old, so to her it's like playing, but to me it's like destruction. What are you messing with? I don't know. She likes to jump up on that windowsill and play with the string, for the blinds. You can pull the blinds up and down. She's playing with it like it's a toy. She got toys, but she'd rather play with things that aren't toys. All right. And then she was crying to come in last night at 10. At 11:15, I think it was. So got on the bed, laying there, cleaning herself. They love licking themselves. Well, cats are clean. They just can't stand any dirt. But then she was sleeping. They're not gonna sleep for like a person for 7 hours. That's it. I hear her running around. I said, okay. So then she got up on the pillow above my head. I said, what is this about? So licking again, but then she started licking my hair, to clean me. I said, oh no, I don't need to. I'll wash my hair, with shampoo. So I think the cat was just getting restless and wanted to go back outside. So I said, go on out, and there's your food. I'll point. If I say food and point, she'll go run down by the bowl. But I didn't want this stray cat over here. I told the old lady, don't feed the cat because she's not going to go away. But the lady did not listen. And now here we go. We got this problem. All right. Whoops. I tasted it on accident. I didn't mean to do that. It smells like sweet honey cereal grain. I mean, look, I'm going to tell you right now. A lot of these blended Scotch whiskeys, they smell the same. And I'm not saying it's a bad smell. It's just like honey and cereal grain. And they don't contain honey. When I say cereal grain, think of like a bowl of cereal, but, without the milk and without the sugar sweetness, like an adult cereal. Children, they want all that sweetness, but something like Special K, there's a good example. This smells the same, but without that intense honey sweetness. So do they both smell all right? Yeah. Am I noticing let's see, 8 and 7.50. Am I noticing a $7 difference? Nah, but I hadn't tasted it yet. And I don't know which is which. So let's go. Cereal grain, a little kind of a harsh bite to it. Honey, a little peat. There is a little peat, no smoke. Forget that. I mean, yeah, is this a sipping whiskey? No. You think they're paying $8.99 for a fine sipping whiskey? They're paying $8.99 at DoorDash to get something to make a simple cocktail with. And I mean simple, like mixing it with Sprite and watching NHL, a hockey game, hockey match, or watching women's college basketball, or watching VH1 Classic. I don't know what people do when they do that. All right. Or playing a video game, which people seem to be doing all the time. They ask me in these surveys, do you play video games on the internet? No, never, 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 never. I used to play Risk, but they don't really have that anymore. I like Risk as a board game because Risk you have to think. There's the element of chance, but there's the element of chance in warfare, essentially, but it allows you to launch raids. So that's why I always liked Risk, the game of Risk, because you can launch raids on people or really damage them or cripple them in a way. This is the same thing, but it's got that harsh bite. It's got the cereal grain. It's got less honey and perhaps more peatiness. Now, Is either one of these, are either one of these going to have a lot of peat character? No. Are they going to have smoke? None at all. None at all. I used to play Atari. Yeah, I never did like video games ever since I was a child. I remember when they had Pong in 1972. I remember people playing that. I've seen that at the mall, you know, at Sears, and people say, "Oh," I mean, I thought it was interesting, but I never was interested in it. When video games came out in the early 80s, I never bought Atari or never asked for it or Intellivision or any of that stuff. I didn't like it. I'd rather play board games, you know, like Risk or Monopoly, but Risk, you know, or cards, rum or gin rummy. Rum. I mean, rummy, rum. Yeah, I play rum. Rummy or gin rummy. You know, I really don't like games. Actually, um, I like to watch contests, sports. Who makes JW Dance? You say that it's made at the JW Dant Distillery in Scotland. No, there is no such thing, nor has there ever been any such thing. JW Dant Scotch was always procured for the company, even when it was independent before Heaven Hill bought it. JW Dant was established by a real guy named Dant, which interestingly, he was an immigrant from Scotland. He moved to Kentucky and he didn't make Scotch, obviously, he's in Kentucky. So he focused on bourbon. He said, well, I'm not in Scotland, I'm in Kentucky. There's a lot of corn, there's a lot of bourbon producers. I'll make bourbon. So JW Dant's bourbon has literally been on the market since 1936. I checked the trademark data. U.S. the Patent Office issued the first trademark 1836. Now, is it real popular? No. Is it well known? No. But it has been around for 185 years. Which is remarkable that it could kind of be around for so long and never really be that popular, but it's still, you know, hanging on. And I can get it at Dornex only. Never seen it in this town. Honestly, I never see it anywhere except Dornex. Dornex has the JW Dant Scotch. They got JW Dant's bourbon. I think they have JW Dant's bottle and bond bourbon. But I really don't know much about it. You know, I can't say much about it because I don't know much about it. I just saw it and I bought it. You know, it was on the shelf, so I picked it up. People ask me sometimes, like, what made you buy this beer? And the answer is almost always the same. Nothing made, I just grabbed it. There was no forethought. I just say, oh, look at that. Let me try it. Do I look for certain beers? I do sometimes look for certain beers, but I don't ever make a great effort to do it. And there's so many varieties around here. There's no incentive. I just say, oh, let me try this. Let me try that. This looks good. I don't know. That doesn't look too good. That's a good price. Or, oh, I'd never pay that. You know, it's that kind of thing. It's not a pattern. The only pattern is that there is no pattern. You know, it's just random. Now with whiskey, rum, Scotch, you know, Scotch whiskey, bourbon whiskey, rum, bourbon, brandy, tequila, mezcal. Well, yeah, there is a pattern there because of the taste challenge. That's a very precise pattern, and that I do that to make sure I don't skip anything. But as far as which brand I buy, I don't really care. I bought Juarez tequila, named after the city of Juarez in Chihuahua, Mexico. You say, what drove you to buy that? The fact that Mathern's has liters of it for $7.99, and everybody else is selling it for 20 something. Never seen it. I mean, that's an incredible discount. I say, even if it's bad, it's no loss. But it's the number 7. It's the number 7 selling tequila in the United States. The 7th best selling tequila in the United States. Juarez, gold or silver. I bought the gold. You say, oh, well, that's mostly restaurants and bars buying it as a well. They're using it as a well tequila. Oh, well, that's probably true. And some people are very reluctant to try anything. You know, if they see it for $7.99 a liter, they won't buy it because they're thinking what? You know what they're thinking? Oh, that's going to be bad. Well, how you know it's going to be bad? Did you ever buy it? Well, no. Did you ever try it? No. Have you heard of it? No, I haven't. So you don't. But they might go to that. They might go to El Paso restaurant and eat and say, I'm going to get a margarita. Oh, this is really good. And they're using Juarez, you know. So, I mean, it's sort of a closed-minded way of operating. It's like you refuse to try something because you know it's going to be bad, but yet you've never had it and you have no reference point to say it's bad, except that you haven't had it. So it's a strange way of thinking, I think. If it's the 7th best selling tequila in America, could it really be bad? I think their answer is clear. No, it is not bad, because if it was garbage, people would not buy it. I don't even a restaurant and a bar wouldn't buy it. So is it going to be world-class, dynamite, fabulous, extraordinary? A thinking person, I try to be a thinking person will realize that that is not going to be the case either. BC, what do you think about Jose Cuervo? Well, I know it's the number 1 selling tequila in the world. And some people love to slag on it. You know, it's the same thing. You get on the internet, look at videos, and the people say, oh, Jose Cuervo, that's the worst. It's trash. It tastes like glue. It tastes like Gorilla Glue. It tastes like pollution. You know, all right, good, great. It's like Budweiser beer, you know. Oh, I'd rather be tortured and put in boiling oil, and you know, it's like, okay, but it's an easy target, so people will say that. And wine, you know, I don't feed into all of that. Is Jose Cuervo going to be great? I mean, why would it be great? It's $15 a bottle, but I'm going to buy it and I'm going to try it. And do they have Jose Cuervos that are super aged and ultra deluxe? Yeah. Total Wine & More's got one for $400. They've got a Jose Cuervo tequila for $400. Now, that's a company that's been in business since the 1700s. 1700s. They might know what they're doing, you know. 1977 Future says, once Ballantines gets to 8, then it is good. I find the standard one a little hard to drink neat. Yeah. This is not too great. Hasn't won a taste challenge yet. It's tied a few times, but, you know. All right, it's time to get on to this. It's here now. Here's the time. Okay, first taste. Is it good? Yeah, it's kind of good. I like the taste of cereal grain, bread. Now, people will pick on me. Why are you always saying bread with beer? Well, think about it. Bread is made out of cereal grain. Beer is made out of cereal grain. Whiskey is made out of cereal grain. You notice a pattern there? Have you detected a commonality? It's the method of production that's different, but it's the whole concept is really not that different. So that's what it tastes like over here. These are both medium body with a moderate finish, by the way. Okay, same thing, but a little cleaner taste, not as much honey, and I would say peat, but you know, it really isn't. There isn't. Look, I was under that same impression. Like when I first started dealing with Scotch, I thought, oh, people kept saying it's so peaty. I knew what peat was, like, you know, rotting organic matter and smoke. I know what smoke is. So I thought, I don't know if I'm going to like it. It might be too intense. But now I realize that most of the ones you try aren't like that. They're just like regular old whiskey, like American or Canadian whiskey or Irish. So you can get some really smoky, inky, peaty Scotches, but those are abnormal instead of normal. I think. Now, of course, Johnny Walker Red Label is the #1 selling Scotch whiskey in the world, and it does have smoke notes because they're using a fairly good amount of Isla. I think it's called Kalila. They're using Kalila 12-year as one of their single malts, or more than one of their single malts per ratio in Johnny Walker Red, and you will notice smoke there. So that could be people's thinking. Johnny Walker, #1 Scotch, smoke, so and they're turned off by it or they like it. Liam says, Ron, I feel sick after I drank 2 40 King ounce Cobras. Is that normal? The alcohol is only 4.7. King Cobra is not 4.7, it's 6%. And anybody who would drink 2 40-ounce bottles might need to rethink what they're doing. I hope you drank those over like a 2-day period. The snobbiness you mentioned happens in the blended Scotch a lot, but there are loads of really good blends. Oh, yeah. So you say, well, blended Scotch is the most popular type of Scotch in the world. 90% of the Scotch in the world is probably higher, much higher than 90% is blended. And then you got the single malt presence. And you get the same old snobbiness, like those people don't know what they're drinking. They think they like it. They really don't like it. Oh, yeah, right. Like all the people that drink Corona beer, and they only think they like it. Now, there's a beer reviewer, I won't say his name, but he's kind of snobby. He does know what he's talking about, but he'll say, I drank Budweiser for 30 years, and I realize how bad it is now. I'm thinking, you drank Budweiser for 30 years. It took you 30 years to realize that it was a bad product. But in my case, it might have taken me 30 minutes. But now I'm supposed to watch your videos and think, wow, here's a great reference point for evaluating products. But it took you 30 years. And the guy said this repeatedly on his channel. And if you want to drink that, and he'll say negative words about it, stuff, go ahead. And I'm like, first of all, I don't know why you keep mentioning Budweiser on your channel. And secondly, you seem to have like a strange fixation of it, like a fixation on it. To be negative. 6%, you're right. No wonder I feel so sick. I polished off too. Yeah, that's insanity. Liam, you need to cool it. Drink water. Water's a great product. I don't really know which is which, but I think I know, but I don't really know. I think that's the Dant. It's a little rougher. And I think that's the, what you call that, the Ballantines. Is there a $7 difference? $7. Honestly, I don't see a 70 cents difference. Do you hear me? I wouldn't pay 70 cents more for one over the other. Now, does Ballantines have a prettier label and bottle design? Well, yeah, it's pretty. You're buying the aesthetic. It's squared off. It's got ribbed handle area where you can grip it. I mean, it's elegant. It's nice. I mean, it looks sharp. It's a fine looking product in every way. I mean, it's a good gift. Like if you gave that to somebody, they say, "Ooh, well, that's really pretty." This looks like a cheap product because it's in a regular old Heaven Hill bottle. Like if you were buying Heaven Hill's Quality House Kentucky blended whiskey, which you could get a liter of that for maybe $6.99. So the appearance is kind of questionable, and it's obvious they're trying to knock off J and B. Instead of J and B, it's JW, with the same kind of lettering. I mean, it's pretty clear what's going on here. But on the other hand, we're not drinking the label. We're drinking the product. So I'm going to call it right now. Blends are designed from other scotches. They take different parts and build a complex flavor from the ground up. That's right. It's hilarious that people assume a young single malt can be better than a good blend. People will feed into certain mythologies. 1977 future, and looks like bourbon, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? They'll feed into certain mythologies, and they'll be like, I've been drinking Scotch for 3.5 years. I really know a lot about it now. Oh, okay. It's expected. All right. I had a guy who's not 25 years old. He's in his 50s telling me that Seagram's VO was not true whiskey. wasn't real whiskey because it was blended. And I'm like, wow, that's an incredible misunderstanding of the whiskey world, but you claim you're a whiskey expert. So when you have that, you can have that kind of thinking even with people, but he's very thick-headed anyway. A person is like dedicated to not entertaining open-minded thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, if you wanted to say who is a person who is like the quintessential closed-minded, obnoxious, totally opposed to any kind of creative thinking, that would be the person. I'm not going to name the person, but that would be the person. And I tried talking to him, but it's like impossible. You cannot, it's impossible to talk to people that will not think, you know. In the new Beatles Get Back documentary, they were drinking J&B and Coca-Cola. I wish J&B is easier to get in the United Kingdom. J&B is so common in Louisiana, but it's not common in the United Kingdom where it's made. It's crazy. I like Jack and Coke. Never had J&B and Coke. I need to try it. What are your overall thoughts on J&B? I'm bringing it into the taste challenges soon, and I love Justerini and Brooks. They use over what 40 different whiskeys. Ballantines uses 40. It's great. Now you know these people will say blended, blended, blended. These master blenders are so much more qualified to do what they're doing than you on the internet saying these things. Is laughable. You know, I mean, to be that thick-headed and opposed to reality is sad. To have such a misunderstanding of blended whiskey, it's kind of worrisome in a way. But these people, that's what they do. You know, they're running around single malt. I like single malt. I got a bunch of single malt whiskeys on the shelf. I like them. I have no issue with it, but I'm not in part of that paradigm of the hating haters who hate. So a lot of these people that's on this like this crusade against blended whiskey and have some kind and don't understand master blending. They're more like master debaters, you know, more like master debaters than master tasters. You know, they want to debate and they think they're good at it. But like I heard somebody say one time to me, she's dumb and she doesn't know it. You know what I mean? A person who's dumb and doesn't know it, but they don't know it, you know. Anyway, these two products do score much higher than their price point, actually. But I wouldn't be necessarily running out to get them either. I mean, they're fine. There's a lot of you know, blended Scotch whiskey on the market. You can go and if you made a channel that was dedicated only to blended Scotch whiskey that was less than $50 a bottle, you'd probably spend 50 years doing your channel. I mean, you never run out. You would never run out of options, you know. So I'm not in love with these, but I'm not in hate with them either. I think this is the Dance, but it's the Ballantines. Well, oh, Ballantines, why do you keep doing this to me, you rascal? But the problem is Ballantines is not competing that well. You know, it's going against a $7 cheaper product and it's not winning. I said, well, this is kind of rough, you know, kind of ragged, kind of harsh. It's got to be the Dance, the cheapo. Oh, no, it's the Ballantine. So you say Chivas Bros is going to launch a crusade against your channel. That's a major company. They're not going to play with you. And they probably will. But it wouldn't be fair because I bragged on Glenlivet and I bragged on some of their other products like 100 Pipers. Now, what's going to happen when 100 Pipers goes up against Ballantines? It's going to be a sad situation. That's what's going to happen. Okay. I meant to say J&B is easier to get in the UK. I can't find it where. I don't know if it's easier to get in the United Kingdom. I think it's easy to get everywhere. J&B is like one of the premier Scotch whiskeys in the world. I mean, everybody can get it. I assumed everybody could get it. When I'm on a budget, I'll purchase Maker's Mark whiskey. It's actually not that bad. I've never had Maker's Mark, but I know a lot about it. Best blend at a reasonable price point is Johnny Walker Green Label. That stuff is amazing. I do plan to buy the Johnny Walker Green Label. I plan to, the next Johnny Walker I want to buy is the black, then the double black, then the green, then the platinum, then, then the gold, then the platinum, and, so on. Okay, once again, this is an amazing situation. Once again, Ballantines fails. And people are going to say, you hate Ballantine. I don't hate Ballantines. I'm glad I bought it. I'm actually very glad I bought it. But it is failing in these taste challenges. It's like consistently not winning. It's like a team, a basketball team, you say, they're really competitive. They play hard and they always go down to the wire every game. That's true, but they're 0-9. They have 9 losses and no victories. And that's what the fans are going to look at. They're going to say, I ain't going to see them. They're 0-9, even though they might have lost every game by less than 6 points. People are talking about thick-headed, run after a team. I know how fans are. If the team is not the best in the world, they're not going to go to the game. It's almost like they're embarrassed to go. I don't want to get into that. It's sickening. If you buy black, don't mix it. Falls to P. I'll never mix it. I would never mix it. I like the Maker's Mark. It's really good, says BC's Beer Reviews. Oh, BC's Beer Reviews. Are you fond of Bolete whiskey, says Liam? Well, honestly, I've never had Bolete. Yeah, Maker's is nice. Bit of a burn at the back of the throat, though. Bolete is the smoothest. Well, Bolete is a Diageo brand too, right? Like Johnny Walker. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's Diageo. Hope we get a Maker's Mark review at some point. I plan to do it, but if you went in that other room and saw my back stock of bourbon, you'd realize it's going to be many years before I get to it. I got so much bourbon, straight bourbon whiskey. It's scary in a way. All right, thanks everybody. So coming up later today, we're going to do Ballantines Finest versus I'm not sure. I got them lined up, but see, some of them are problematic because like 100 Pipers is made by Chivas Brothers, but for the U.S. market, it's bottled in Kentucky by Heaven Hill. It's not actually a Heaven Hill brand. Well, it's kind of like Foster's Lager and Ale. It's brewed and canned in America by Miller Coors, but it's done under contract for Carlton United Breweries of Australia, owned by Asahi, previously owned by Anheuser-Busch InBev. It was very convoluted. The whole thing is very convoluted. That's how they spell it. Woodford is my favorite, though. That stuff is gold. I like Woodford Reserve. Sonia, thank you for giving me that bottle. I enjoyed every sip of it. I always thought it was pronounced like the word bullet. It might be bullet, but I say bolete because it looked like bolete. Bolete Green Label is awesome. Oh, that's the rye. I know I'd love that. Thanks, everybody. Y'all take care now. I'll be back, about 4 hours from now. Take care, everybody. Might be less than 4 hours because I got to do something.